Now on CoastTV News.
Businesses keep moving as freezing temperatures linger, challenges they're facing.
DelDOT plow truck reimbursement, what to do if you had property damage.
ICE leadership changes, consequences after outrage across the country.
Dangerously cold temperatures heading for Delmarva, could be feeling like sub-zero, and the risk for frostbite increases as we go through the week, and maybe looking at another storm heading into the weekend. Details come.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
How businesses are handling all of this weather. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. We begin tonight in Ocean Pines.
Businesses in the Worcester County town are seeing mixed results as cold temperatures and icy conditions continue. Some owners say fewer customers are coming in, while others say the business is going strong. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappe is live in Ocean Pines. Kevin, some stores decided to close altogether.
Maddie, we are live along the strip of stores here in Ocean Pines, and each business has a different story to tell on how the weather affected them. Different businesses in Ocean Pines are seeing different outcomes due to the lasting weather conditions.
Once we open back up, I've had all my regulars again. It's been beautiful. It's been so much fun.
A lot of people will cancel for the day and reschedule.
Peter Cuesta is a foot doctor in Ocean Pines and has already had 4 appointments for today get canceled. Cuesta believes the weather is why he's seeing an uptick in no-shows.
They have quite an effect. Even a forecast of snow will cause cancellations.
Right next door is Oasis Nutrition. Owner Diana Sabia is expecting a higher electricity bill, but says she's still seeing customers coming in for drinks.
I am still seeing the foot traffic and everything, so I'm just grateful that people are out and about.
And for one business in Ocean Pines, they saw more foot traffic than usual. Maureen Kennedy is the owner of My Backyard, a store that sells everything and anything for birds. Kennedy says most of her customers came in before the storm to buy bags of food for their bird feeders, something essential to keep birds alive in these temperatures.
In the wintertime, when it gets cold, they fluff up so that there's a thin layer between the skin and the feathers, and they pretty much shiver all night, if you will, so they're burning calories to stay warm.
With some customers still shopping and others waiting for the ice to melt, businesses say they will remain open until the next snowstorm hits the coast. Now, businesses also say they're expecting a higher electricity bill, but they also say they're willing to pay that price to serve their customers. I'm Kevin Zappe, live in Ocean Pines, Coast TV News.
Now we're taking a live look into Laurel. Just a gorgeous night out there as we check in with our first alert meteorologist, Bob Trihey. Bob, what are you seeing?
Good evening, Charlie. It is bitterly cold out there this evening and about to get colder in the days ahead. It feels even colder with that mantle of white and ice out there. Cold weather advisory, Sussex County, parts of the eastern shore as well. So that includes Georgetown, Lewis, Ocean View, all of Sussex County. This goes until Wednesday at 10 a.m. It could actually be upgraded to an extreme cold warning as we go through time. Here's the cold weather advisory also for Dorchester, Somerset, Wycomico, and Worcester counties. So Cambridge back through Vienna, Salisbury, and Golf Club Shores, all feeling like teens and single digits with the wind chills. Actual temperatures now in the 20s to around 30 in Redden, 29 in Lewis, 27 in Georgetown, 29 at Bethany Beach. So we got close to the freezing mark, but we're not breaking it today or really in the next several days to come as we have a southwesterly breeze, and that wind is gusting over 20 miles per hour at times. So those feels like temperatures are getting down there. Feels like teens and lower 20s. So you really want to bundle up. We are seeing some cloud cover out there right now, and with a little push of more cold air, we could be looking at a few flurries this evening. Otherwise, the front back to our west. It's behind that we're looking at the dangerous cold that will be heading our way. This evening, a few clouds, maybe a few flurries with a reinforcing shot of cold air. And then by Wednesday morning, we're down through the teens. In fact, around 11 to 15 degrees above zero. And those feels like temperatures down to as cold as 7 tomorrow morning. And it's about to get a lot worse. I'll have much more on that, plus the chance of a weekend storm coming up a little bit later on.
This brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, how do you keep warm at home?
This one is kind of fun. Take a look at this. So, well, that's the poll from yesterday, which people were worried about it. So we're going to find out. But we did have a comment, actually, if we're able to share that. No, we're just going to move forward at this point.
Yeah, we'll get you that comment in the next version of this show.
If you haven't voted yet, do that, and we'll get to it at 6 o'clock. And be sure to download the Coast TV app for your phone and your tablet. In case you didn't know, you can also get the Coast TV streaming app for your TV with devices like Roku, Fire, and Apple.
DelDOT reminding people today that the agency does not plow private neighborhoods, just state roads, noticing it could be up to 4 days before neighborhoods see plows. However, DelDOT says it does reimburse civic associations for snow removal from private contractors who are able to plow sooner.
Another way to get reimbursed by DelDOT for those on both private and public property, if you had a mailbox or anything damaged during the snow removal, you can contact the insurance coverage office. There's a number you call right there, or you can actually email them as well. DelDOT says be sure you include pictures, the date, the time, and location of that damage in the email. And the weather is still impacting Delmarva schools, most including Cape and Indian River on a 2-hour delay. Laurel schools right now are still virtual, but we do have a complete and regularly updated list of closures right now on our website, coasttv.com, or our app. Just click the banner with closures and delays. Tonight, President Trump trying to change the conversation after making a big change in Minnesota.
The president's top man overseeing immigration raids in the Twin Cities, he's now out.
NBC's Monica Alba has the latest as the White House shifts its tone amid growing backlash to the federal agent killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy.
Tonight, President Trump on the road to talk about the economy, despite the nation's continued focus on Saturday's deadly shooting of a Minnesota VA hospital nurse by federal agents. In the days following, the White House's tone noticeably shifting as backlash over violent immigration enforcement operations grows. Days after top administration officials labeled Alex Preddy a domestic terrorist just hours after his killing, the president now saying he backs a full investigation.
I want a very honorable and honest investigation. I have to see it myself.
In Minneapolis, where federal agents killed 2 U.S. citizens in 3 weeks, a change at the top. The White House sending Border Czar Tom Homan and Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Rodney Scott to replace Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino, who had been leading the administration's aggressive immigration raids in Minnesota. Homan already meeting with Governor Tim Walz to try to ease tensions. Walz's office saying in part, the governor and Homan agreed on the need for an ongoing dialogue and will continue working toward those goals. It comes a day after Minnesota's Attorney General asked a judge to stop the federal immigration operations in the state.
The federal government doesn't have any right to try to flood us, threaten us with retribution, and to coerce the state of Minnesota into complying with Trump policy.
With outrage growing over Preddy's killing, some from the president's own party now speaking out. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul calling for the agents involved to be placed on leave until an investigation is completed. Democrats going further, calling for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to be fired or impeached. President Trump still backing Noem.
I think she's doing a very good job.
Outrage over the Alex Preddy killing could lead to a partial government shutdown this weekend. Senate Democrats say they will not vote for a spending bill if it includes funding for the Department of Homeland Security. But Republicans have signaled they won't pull the DHS budget out of the bill. If the two sides can't come together, 6 agencies, including the Defense Department, could shut down. Monica Alba, NBC News, Washington.
Dog rescued from the ice, what firefighters encountered.
Here's a live look into Ocean City on the Dry Tech Cam. Clear skies, 29 degrees, and it's going to be tumbling those temperatures in the next few days. Congratulations to our umbrella winner, Susan Wells from Selbyville, courtesy of Paul Davis and Coast TV. Dangerous cold on the way and maybe a weekend snowstorm. Details coming up.
But first, farm animals and cold temperatures, how farmers are keeping them safe. Up next.
Oh, well, most of us are bundling up to stay warm. Farmers say we can't forget about our animal friends. With the cold weather moving into our area, protecting livestock becomes more important. Courageous Hearts is one of the many places here in Delaware with farm animals trying to keep their livestock protected from that cold. Rebecca Bauman, who has worked at the farm since she was 16, says while horses grow a thick winter coat, their hooves, those can be more vulnerable.
They're kind of like dogs, but the bottom part is like our fingernails. That doesn't really affect them, but right here is where the skin starts to connect, and if that gets too icy, it can start to bring their body temperature down a little bit.
Farmers say that some horses need a little extra care, so they use blankets or covers to keep them warm since they might have a thinner coat of hair. However, they say cows and donkeys generally, they do fairly well in the cold temperatures.
Coming up next, Bob Try. He's in our Coast TV First Alert Weather Center with your full forecast after this.
Winter cold continues to grip our area, and that will continue really the next several days as the cold air could possibly get dangerous. Now, our high temperatures today actually got close to freezing. 28 in Georgetown, 30 in Ocean City, 29 in Salisbury, 27 in Cambridge. I tell you what, though, I don't think we're going above freezing until sometime next week. That's how cold it will be. We're talking about rare cold for Delmarva. Yes, we get cold in the winter, but it's going to be bitterly cold as we go through the days ahead. Sub-zero morning wind chills and perhaps some record cold possible. And this weekend, you probably heard some rumblings about snow. I put a little question mark there because we're looking at a coastal storm, possible impacts for Delaware. It could bring us snow, wind, and beach erosion, but it's a question mark for now. But we do know the really cold air is coming. We have a risk of frostbite. Now, these numbers are the feels-like temperatures into the morning hours of Wednesday right through Sunday. Feels like 2 above tomorrow, but then it feels like sub-zero wind chills Thursday through Sunday. So that puts us in the moderate to high risk of seeing frostbite. You really want to be careful as we go through the next several days. Avoid prolonged exposure to cold. Make sure you dress in multiple layers. Know the signs of hypothermia and safely heat your home. Never use an oven. Drink warm beverages. Remember Fido, your four-legged friend. Protect your pets as well. Remember them in the cold because look at this, the next several days, well below freezing, temperatures in the 20s, single digits Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning, and then maybe above freezing by Monday. As we're looking at temperatures into the 20s to around 30 degrees right now, we have a southwesterly breeze, and that's knocking the feels-like temperature down into the teens and 20s. Feels like 17 in Long Neck, 14 in Salisbury, 15 in Laurel. We have a few clouds out there right now. We have a little disturbance pushing through. It could set off maybe a few flurries, not a big deal. The big deal, of course, is a reinforcing shot of cold air behind this front. It's the dangerous cold that's behind this front that will affect us later in the week and into the weekend. Here's Futurecast this evening. We're in the 20s and then some cloud cover, maybe a flurry or two as we go through the overnight hours as temperatures sink through the teens and 20s. By Wednesday morning, we're well down in the teens, about 12 to 15 degrees. And by Wednesday afternoon, a few more clouds, but look how cold it is. Highs only in the mid-20s. Some clouds tomorrow night, and then those temperatures once again very cold Thursday morning into the teens, and then 20s again by Thursday afternoon, and then really cold Friday morning. We're into the single digits and feels like temperatures by Wednesday morning in the single digits above zero, only into the single digits and teens in the afternoon. By Thursday morning, we are about 4 to 8 degrees below zero, unbelievably cold. Thursday afternoon in the single digits. Friday morning, well below zero with those wind chills, and Friday afternoon and evening in the single digits, and Saturday morning we are below zero once again. Now heading into the weekend, you're saying, uh-oh, really? Another storm is possible. We're going to be seeing a big area of low pressure developing offshore. This system could take 2 tracks. Now, if it tracks to the north, this is one possible track and parallels the coast, we're going to get accumulating snow. But if it tracks out to sea, basically due east-northeast, we could get a glancing blow. That's what the European model is thinking. The GFS model and the Canadian model are bringing it up right along the coast, giving us a blockbuster storm. We're going to have to watch it. Snow, wind, beach erosion. Here's a European model just skirting us with some snow. It's razor thin, but then it dries out after that. We'll be watching that carefully. 11 tonight, very cold, feels like single digits, and then very cold tomorrow, 25. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, a cold stretch Thursday through Saturday, lower 20s, overnight lows in the single digits. Watching for snow for the weekend, and maybe the groundhog will poke above the snow on Monday as we go above freezing and a temperature of 33.
I need that groundhog to help us out here, Bob. Thank you. On January 6th and the 22nd, state police troopers were called to 2 different Laurel churches, but for the same reason. State police say 50-year-old Chad Ray entered the churches and removed parts from a combined total of 5 air conditioner units at those churches. Ray has been arrested for theft, also criminal mischief, and also criminal trespass charges. Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 7:30, Stellar fights 70, And at 11:30, you can catch Outdoors Delmarva. Well, growth on the coast is a big issue. We know we have growing pains because everybody's moving here, but there's a cost. Roads and infrastructure, development, a lack of open space. There's a lot of conflict and a lot of concern.
CoastTV News has investigated all the deep-seated issues that brought us to where we are today. On February 4th at 7 p.m., join us for a 1-hour special to help you understand the price of paradise, growth on the coast. An early morning fire on Phillips Street in Cambridge. Upon arrival, firefighters say smoke was visible from the second floor windows. Good news, no injuries reported. Firefighters say that the family was able to get out and the Red Cross is helping.
A close call in Accomack County. The Onancock Volunteer Fire Department says a dog wandered into the creek. You see the little puppy way out there?
Oh no.
Yeah, he fell into the water around 8 a.m. You can see here a firefighter was able to use a raft to get out there, get that dog out of that icy creek and onto shore. The puppy was treated for hypothermia and minor injuries to its paws. Aw, look at that guy.
Glad he's okay. The CIA is establishing a permanent presence in Venezuela, but sources say doing it quietly. The State Department will eventually serve as the diplomatic presence for the U.S. CIA agents will work with building relationships with locals and assess security concerns. It's part of the Trump administration plans to exert influence. Additionally, the Trump administration has notified Congress that it is taking the first steps to possibly reopen the shuttered U.S. embassy in Venezuela.
The opening ceremony for the Milan Cortina Games is just 10 days away, and the Olympic excitement is building across Italy. NBC's Claudia Lavanga shows us how the excitement is surrounding the start of the Olympics.
With only 10 days to go, the Winter Olympics opening ceremony here in Milan, the city is ready for what organizers promise it to be the greatest show on earth. Milan is plastered with posters about the Olympics, and people here are bracing for the excitement, sure, but also for the disruption that the Olympics may bring to this city with road closures and, of course, the friendly invasion of athletes and spectators. In the meantime, after it crisscrossed Italy on Monday, the Olympic flame arrived in the other host city of this Winter Olympics, Cortina, a mountain resort about 150 miles from here. And the torch arrived there exactly 70 years to the day since the opening ceremony of the last time the Winter Olympics were held there, January 26th, 1956. But the big day here in Milan will be the opening ceremony of this year's winter edition, February the 6th, when the headliners will be Mariah Carey and the Italian tenor Andrea Bocelli, among others. But the real stars will be the 1,200 volunteers who will perform that night. Some are professional actors and dancers, but most will be regular people who, for one night only, will perform in front of a live audience of 60,000 people in the city's main stadium and hundreds of millions who are expected to tune in from around the world. Claudio Lavanga, NBC News, Milan.
And don't forget, the Winter Olympics run February 6th to the 22nd, only here on CoastTV.
As we take a live look outside into Lewis, just a gorgeous shot there. One more check on your forecast after this.
If you're headed out this evening, bundle up. Temperatures falling through the 20s this evening and then into the teens very early tomorrow morning. And those feels like temperatures into the teens and even single digits by tomorrow morning. And it gets worse in the days to come. Call the CoastTV First Alert weather phone. Your forecast just a call away. Sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico. Paul Davis 10-day forecast, just plain cold. In fact, unprecedented cold. We could see some record low high temperatures, low 20s Thursday through Saturday. Single digits Friday and Saturday morning, and we're looking at wind chills well below zero. So this is the dangerous time. Then into the weekend, that's when we're watching the coast for the potential of a snowstorm. I'm saying potential because we can get a lot or we can get a dusting or nothing. So we'll watch it. Then Groundhog Day 33 and a nice warm up into next week, mid to upper 30s, Tuesday through Friday. So going to feel nice then compared to what we have now.
Thank you, Bob, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 5.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.